Welcome all of you to Nissan Stadium on the banks of the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. This crowd here fired up for football as a moment ago their Titans were introduced. This should be a good one as the Titans get set to match up with the Indianapolis Colts. It's the first weekend of autumn and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Not the start that he was looking for as he's going to be met and dropped behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know, you know better than I, he has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Even though it's the opening drive of the game, he wasn't shy about taking off and running with the football, even knowing the defense is definitely going to take their shots at him. And that's exactly what they did. He better learn to slide, otherwise he won't be around to finish this one.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
That's the type of run that Jonathan Taylor gives you so often, and you just can't take it for granted. He finds a way to get those extra yards. The third running back taken in the 2020 draft, but he had the best numbers by far of any of them. 1,169 yards, third most in the NFL, and by the last quarter of the season, he ranked among the best runners in the league.
And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. Play action. It's McDonald. He'll check this one down to Taylor. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
Nice methodical opening drive here. They're already in the field goal range. They're in a good spot. You know that people like to take a shot in this part of the field. But at the same time, as methodical as they've been, they might want to run the ball a little bit here too.
And just on the outskirts of the red zone, they have options now. Either way, though, they've come out with a purpose. The former Steeler Bud Dupree in on the tackle.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Second down, another run with Taylor. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Here's McDonald to throw. To the right side and into the hands of the tight end, Granson. And he is going to have a Colts first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
McDonald steps away to his left. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. Throwing is McDonald. Out of his hands quickly to Pittman. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. Out of the gun, McDonald. Touchdown! Michael Pittman, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Colts take it right down and score on the opening drive. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. Fielded just outside the goal line. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And the Colts pick it up. And they take over already 5 yards deep into the red zone at the 15-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. From the gun, it's McDonald. And this will be swung out wide for Taylor. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So the face mask moves him closer, and now 1st and goal. They'll look to run with Taylor. And he takes it in for a Colts score. Jonathan Taylor, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Colts are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And that one bounces out of the back of the end zone, so we'll start the drive at the 25 on the touchback. Tannehill and the Titans come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
58 for Mike, 58 for Mike.
Tannehill with a play fake to Henry. He'll throw instead. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. Well, this defense for the Colts, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
Even better than that, they pitched a shutout in that game, and I'm telling you, trust me on this one. That's a confidence builder for the rest of the season. When you get a defense that puts together a performance like that this early in the year, well, that sends notice to the rest of the NFL and spreads confidence throughout the locker room that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Back to throw, Tannehill. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Now, early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
first and 10. Taylor now. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of a full 8 yards. And it sets him back for second down. McDonald sets to throw. Throw going to be caught left side here by Granson. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans 36.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. I actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 47 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. So the ball down to the 16 here for first and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They overloaded that time of the safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Looking to throw. McDonald eluding the pressure right. And the catch made by Hilton. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down. Back to throw. McDonald. Touchdown, Colts. Kylan Granson, his second touchdown on the season. And the Colts are able to grow their lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And it's now 21-0. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
And he'll get 2 or 3 out of that one, as that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Tight right, tight right. 58 is the mic. Go 58 is the mic. Bandit. Bandit.
Tannehill going to throw on 3rd and 1. He's going deep for Brown. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That certainly looks like nothing to show now from these first two possessions. And guess what? When you're on a losing streak, that can lead to a full sense of, here we go again. So on the sidelines, the offensive play callers, quarterback, they've got to get together and dial something up to start their next drive. Otherwise, it could be a long game.
Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And this ball's going to be down now right at the 10-yard line. Good spot.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. A carry by Taylor to start the drive. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. Well, we know he's an electric runner. Earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to bottle him up at different levels. That was your suggestion. Some mixed results.
Yeah, certainly, because we have seen him bottled up at times. We've seen him play him very well. We've also seen him pop the cork a few times and get out of there, haven't we?
We have indeed. They'll run on first down. It's Taylor, and he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. Able to avoid him at the 40. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Options galore here. Second and a few inches. Looking to throw. McDonald. He'll find his man. That's Taylor again. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. A final shot before break. McDonald. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Kylan Granson in the final seconds of the first half. And the Colts go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Rodrigo Blankenship on for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The final shot here before the break. Tannehill gets this to Ferkser, the tight end. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call. So we come to halftime here with the visiting Colts taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Titans going to get the ball to start the second half, and they trail here as we get back to it on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
58, boys, 58, 58, Mike.
Play action, it's Tannehill. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Colts pick it up. And they are going to score on the fumble return. Touchdown, Indianapolis. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because
that's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line. Good starting field position for the Colts as they have it 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. And some room to work. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 23 yards on the play. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
They'll run here with Taylor. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And thanks to the interception, the Colts offense cashes in with 6. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people would think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one. And Derrick Henry with the ball in his hands, what a sight to behold, because power and speed involved in every touch for him. Coming off another spectacular season with the Titans, he became the first since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006 and 2007 to win 2 straight rushing titles, and he did it with style, too. Just the 8th man to top 2,000 yards, and the first since Adrian Peterson in 2012. He has his sights set on another 2,000-yard season.
A first down carry for Henry. And he'll take this one down to about the 40.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
They'll try the air now with Tannehill. Man open, here is Jones. Touchdown, Titans. Julio Jones. 40 yards. And the Titans are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit. Extra point up and good by Bullock. So they do get one score back, but still a long way to go here in the third quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. On the return, it's Nyheim Hines. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, because this one's just...
And that's caught inside the 30. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25. A big play there for Indy. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Back to throw. McDonald. He's got it to Hilton. 7 yards, the pickup there.
Timing is so important on a route like this, because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late, because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 130 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Taylor. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. From the gun, it's Taylor. And he takes this one in for a Colts touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Colts get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that will extend this big lead. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Flush to his right. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
There's a nice pickup right there. And after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Now Tannehill. Over the middle, complete. It's Jones. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 31-yard line. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Tannehill on first down. Looking in zone for Jones. And it'll be intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And the Colts are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laugh. Tried to drop it in there, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Christian Fulton. And the Titans are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. He finds some way to turn this into positive yardage as he struggles forward for a pickup of about 2. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Off play action, Tannehill. Caught by Jones. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. A big play that time through the air. 30 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Tannehill going to turn and give this to Henry. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They'll fake it. Now Tannehill. Looking deep for Julio. Open man, Julio. Touchdown, Tennessee. Julio Jones with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Titans get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. They're looking at a 3rd straight win here if they can hold on. They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big connection on that one. 30 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Flushed out right. Now on the run. He'll throw it back deep over the middle. That's caught at the 2. Touchdown. Kylan Granson, 43 yards. And the Colts are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
On first down, it's Tannehill. And this is caught by Williams. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. On first down, Henry. And he'll get this forward only for about a yard, as that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. On second and 9, Tannehill. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Tannehill. And this is going to be intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And the Colts are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. 148 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
They'll run on first down. Taylor running right through him. And he's got this down to the 35.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. On first down, it's Taylor. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did.